There is a strange phenomenon that has arisen among software publishers. There appears to be a tendency for people to invert their understanding of what makes a quality product better, or at least this is true when it comes to those who do the marketing. It goes something along the lines of, their product has 1 million lines of code, but ours has 2 million, so therefore our product must be better. No one knows where this more is more kind of thinking comes from. When back in the day, everyone was working so hard to create a less is more philosophy. Probably it started with consumer-grade journalism, because many writers try to impress audiences by quoting big numbers. For most things, this works. This tiny flash drive holds 200 terabytes of data. That CPU can process 48 billion instructions per second. And writers aren't always technologically savvy enough to understand that the same doesn't apply to source code. But efficiency in code isn't only about creating tight algorithms. It's also about being able to reduce waste. This means waste in terms of how much time you spend fixing problems, waste in terms of consuming too many computer sources, and even waste in terms of how many pizza boxes your team has stacked up around the office by the end of the week. Ideally, you want to cut down on all of these things. So what we'll take a look at in today's video will be the things you could do to improve efficiency and increase productivity. Number 1, build a conducive work environment. Every coder is working in unique circumstances, and our readers are a very diverse bunch, so it will be easier for some of you to implement these suggestions than for others. If you're a freelancer, congratulations, because you're already a master of your own work environment. Of course, that's going to change when you go to visit a client and have to work on site. But it's still a sweet position to be in if you can make a success of it. If you're the manager of a development team, these suggestions can also help you to get your team to maximize efficiency. Or if you are a worker on a development team, you may want to suggest some of these ideas to your manager, or at least send him or her a link to this video and hope for the best. Number 2, consider allowing team members to telecommute. Programming is partly an exercise in logic, but it is even more of a creative challenge. The best programmers can employ either side of their brain in equal measure to any task. Science has long acknowledged that creative people do their best work at night, and it's something we've all experienced. So why do most managers insist on a traditional 9-to-5 routine? Actually, we already know the answer to that. It's partly about control, and it's partly about making things more convenient from a business point of view, or at least a management one. But that insistence on routine and location is hurting the efficiency and productivity of the theme. What you need to realize is that your coders were probably up all night trying out the latest game, or maybe they went partying, or simply had to socialize with family. It means that when they turn up for work on Monday morning, not only are you going to get them at their peak productivity level, but they're already drained of energy and dog-tired. Giving workers a choice about when they work, and ideally also where, is an excellent way to improve productivity and morale. As long as they get the job done and turn in excellent quality results, you shouldn't care about when, where, or how they achieve it. The exception is when you need close collaboration. But in truth, most coders do better when they're left to do things in their own way. And the need for close collaboration is rare. The option to come into the office should still be there, but there's no realistic reason why it should be required unless you're working on top secret military projects. As a freelancer, you can also see the key point here is that if you do most of your actual coding work at night, you're likely to get more done. There are fewer distractions late at night, it's quieter, and you'll feel more creative. Number 3, avoid music. We've all seen those crazy movie stereotypes where some super grungy Uber hacker puts on their headphones and jams along to death metal while effortlessly churning out screenfuls of code without even stopping a breath. And all of us who really code in the real world know how ridiculous that image is. But if you do like to listen to music while working, be careful. It's quite easy to find yourself thinking about the music instead of your work. And some kinds of music can have a soporific effect. When you go for a workout at the gym, the right kind of music might inspire you to push out that extra few reps. But no one has ever managed to create music that will inspire you to find the line with the missing semicolon, or to make the correct choice between using a for loop or a while loop. The closest we've ever gotten to that is Electric Dreams. Number 4, try to keep tidy. Clutter can be oddly comforting, but it can also slow you down. You can easily lose 20 minutes looking for something that's been lost in the mess, and then forget why you wanted it in the first place. So for all the inconvenience it causes, why are we, some of us at least, so addicted to clutter? Organizational expert and author Julie Morgenstern claims it is because this stuff connects us with our past and plays a role in defining our identity. Marcus Gettold, a teacher and stage director based in New York City, suggests that it's because the clutter is preferable to a sterile environment, and likens the chaos of a clutter to an affirmation of freedom and creativity. There is, however, no doubt that reducing clutter will help you avoid distraction and disorganization. As such, it is a worthy goal to accomplish. By all means, keep a few sacred objects around that make you feel better and less stressed, but don't overdo it. Decluttering is one of the hardest things to do for most people, and it's not just our physical desktops that need decluttering, but often our computer desktops too. If you really struggle with that, you could try using a minimalist DTE, such as Fluxbox, which doesn't really allow you to have any clutter. But in the midst of all this tidying, don't go overboard. There's plenty of good science that suggests a bit of chaos in the environment may actually be conducive to creativity. One of the most frequently cited bits of research into this is a journal entry in Psychological Science by Voss, Redden, and Rahanil of the University of Minnesota, titled Physical Order Produces Healthy Choices, Generosity, and Conventionality, whereas disorder produces creativity. Probably the reason why this is, the paper journalists cling to, is that it clearly concludes that participants in a disorderly room were more creative than participants in an orderly room. Much less popular in dissenting beliefs, such as environmental disorder, leads to a self-regulatory failure, published in the Journal of Consumer Research. This study found that people working in disorderly environments were impaired in their ability to perform tasks. So where does this leave you? Should you work in chaos or sterility? The answer seems to be to find a balance where it's just chaotic enough to keep you inspired, but not so much that you get distracted or have trouble finding things. Number 5, leave some room behind for you to pace out your thoughts. It's a good idea to have plenty of room for wandering about when you're deliberating. Many of the best admirals and generals in history were renowned for the extensive time they spent pacing about the deck while planning battle strategies. Not only fighting men follow this practice, many Buddhist monks also advocate walking meditation and believe it helps promote clarity of the mind. Whenever you have a particularly knotting programming problem to solve, you may find it helpful to stretch your legs a bit with a meditative walk around the deck. Obviously here, again, a lack of clutter will help you do this without ending in the hospital. By taking these 5 key suggestions into account, you will be able to develop your own strategy for extracting the most efficiency for you and any team members you work with. You don't necessarily have to apply them all, and certainly some may not even be practical for you. But any combination of them likely to result in you getting your work done with less hassle. A more productive workflow will pay for itself over time, even if it is just in terms of stress reduction and giving you more time for yourself. That's a goal worth working towards. That's the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for sticking around till the end. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. If you're interested in learning more about computer science and coding, click the link in my description to my blog, where you can expand your knowledge on these topics. See you in the next video!